Welcome to Unity of Charlotte. Here we love, serve, and grow. We love, grow, and serve. In any case, love comes first. We welcome all of you, whether you're in the sanctuary, on Zoom, or on YouTube. My name is Fred Monroe. Unity of Charlotte is the place where we nurture a deep and mature experience of God through the practice of unity principles. Simply put, it means we are here to love, grow, and serve. I'm delighted to see everyone. Let's start today by taking the unity prayer of oneness together. Together, there is one presence and one power in my life and the universe. God, the good, omnipotent. I'd like to share today's daily word with you. The word is joy, J-O-Y, joy. I delight in simple joys. Psalm 16:11, you show me the path of life. In your presence, there is fullness of joy. In your right hand are pleasures forevermore. Forevermore. Joy, it has been said, comes much more from wanting what we have than from having what we want. Reflecting on this thought, I embrace the simple joys that this day offers. Again, joy comes more from wanting what we have already than from having something we don't have yet. I enjoy my morning coffee, that's for sure, or tea, savoring its flavor and fragrance. Walking through my neighborhood, I greet friends, smile at people that I haven't met yet, and enjoy the fresh air. I find satisfaction in taking care of my home, working at my job, or being retired, or helping a friend. Even if I am not with them today, I feel joy as I think of my connection with the people I care the most about. I know joy whenever I look for possibilities rather than focusing on problems. My greatest joy is my awareness that wherever I am, whatever I'm doing, God is always with me. Today's scripture ends with the word forevermore. My grandmother would say forevermore, Freddie, to me over and over again while I was teasing her. Amani tutupe. Some Swahili words, I looked them up. Amani means peace and prosperity and give us courage. Amani utupe, sung by our. Let us move on to our announcements now. The Affirmative Prayer and Meditation Group will meet the first and third Tuesday evenings at 7:15 until 8 and set a prayerful energy for the church, the city, and the world, facilitated by Barbara Rolfe via Zoom. You saw Barbara in the choir a minute ago. The Dialogue as Service group meets by Zoom also, but on Wednesdays, 1 to 2:30, and continues our spiritual dialogue on the path of initiation. The Nature of the Soul is the next book in the series Creative Thinking, facilitated by Barbara Rolfe via Zoom. The Unity Men's Group meets in person at the church on the second and fourth Wednesdays of each month from 9:30 to 11 a.m. A Course in Miracles group meets Thursdays at 9:30 a.m. on Zoom. If you or a loved one has a need for prayer, any reason, please use the link on our website or call Silent Unity at 1-800-NOW-PRAY. I wrote this last week what the numbers were. I noticed that our telephones don't have those letters anymore. We need the number. Okay, I'll change that next time. All of these links can be found on our website. I'm getting some good help here. For prayer support at Silent Unity, call 816-969-2000. I'll say that again. Customer service support, say it again. 816-969-2000. Thank you, Maria. Now I ask you to share the affirmation for our new meeting space. There it is. Thank you, administration. Together, we affirm that we have a new home for Unity of Charlotte that fulfills every need for space and use in order to support and share our unified purpose to love, grow, and serve. And so it is. And now I'd like to welcome our guest speaker. The subject is the prime of our lives. That would describe me, I guess. Just had a birthday. Oh. Shameless plug, I know. Rev Robin Volker is our speaker today from a far place way out in Georgia, Blairsville, I suppose. Although by Zoom, she could be, well, I don't know where. Reverend Robin Volker.
Thank you, Fred. Good morning, Unity of Charlotte. Can everyone hear me, Zoom and in the sanctuary?
Yes, we hear you. I hear you.
Thank goodness. Okay, I want to go back in time a little bit. 1989, do you remember the movie Dead Poets Society? That movie resurrected an obscure Latin phrase that most of us had forgotten, carpe diem. It means seize the day. It's an exhortation to live life to its fullest, getting the most out of each individual day. So today, I'm talking about the prime of our lives. Now, by definition, technical definition, the prime of life is between the ages of 25 and 64. And some of us fall within those ages. There might be some listening to this message that have not gotten there yet, and some of you may be beyond that range. But regardless of where you are in physical age, Fred, what is important is that you increase your awareness today so that you can suck the marrow out of life, as John Keaton said in Dead Poets Society. That was played by Robin Williams. Love Robin Williams. Today's message is to remind us that this moment is the prime of our lives. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, but today. And when we begin to believe that our prime has passed or is not yet here, we miss living in this day and enjoying all that this day can give us. You see, God exists in this present moment, and actually this present moment is all that really exists. When we commit to living in this moment and noting it as our prime, we're committing to being connected with God. For God is where? Here, now. You see, we live in our heads and we spend our time replaying yesterday's defeats or achievements or role-playing tomorrow's challenges or successes. We analyze and judge, and we have a myriad of excuses that make those behaviors okay. And all this busyness in our heads keeps us from fully connecting with this present moment and claiming this day as the prime of our lives. In Philippians chapter 3:13, Paul says this. He says, "This one thing I do, forgetting what lies behind or straining to what lies ahead, I press on toward the goal of the prize." Paul is telling us that we must forget the past and not strain for the future. We are to live in the present. The past is not our prime, and the future is not yet here. Our prime is right now. If you are breathing in this moment, your prime is right now. In forgetting the past, there are two elements that we must forget. First, we are to forget the bad. Now, Paul had a lot of bad to forget, didn't he? He had tortured and murdered many innocent people and caused a lot of pain and done a lot of damage to the cause of Jesus's followers. And he had made a choice. And he had to make the choice that he was not going to live in the guilt of his past and let the prime of his life never come to fruition. We would not have Christianity today if it wasn't for Paul's efforts in that first century. He had to claim this day as his prime. And maybe you've had a bad experience, and maybe you did something long ago that you regret. And maybe those memories keep coming back to haunt you, keeping you from living a full life today. But you must forget the past. It's over, it's done, and the only way that it can keep hurting you is if you keep reliving it in your mind. Here's a little story about that. I read this football story. I actually love college football. And this story was about the Rose Bowl of January 1st, 1929, the University of California against the Rambling Wreck of Georgia Tech. It was late in the second quarter, and there was no score. The ball was on the 36-yard line. Georgia Tech had it on their own yard line. The ball was handed off to a Georgia Tech halfback, and he fumbles. The ball squirts loose and bounds to the 40-yard line, where Roy Riegels, a lineman for the University of California, picked up the ball and began to head for the Georgia Tech end zone. Good thing, right? He got to about the 30-yard line, and a Georgia Tech player hit him. Riegel spun off of him, went around in a circle a few times, and he lost his sense of direction and began to run in the opposite direction. He ran for 65 yards, trailed by one of his own defensive backs, which finally caught up with him at the 5-yard line. And his own teammate grabbed him by the collar around the jersey and said, "Stop, you're running the wrong way." But it was too late. The Georgia Tech players piled on top of them, and Roy Riegels was downed on the 1-yard line. California had the ball, but they were on the 1-yard line, would have to go 99 yards to get where they wanted to go. And Georgia Tech held them, so California was forced to punt, and the punt was blocked and recovered in the end zone for a safety. That embarrassing moment. In the locker room at halftime, young Roy Riegels sat in the corner with his face buried in his hands, crying, and the whole room was silent. You can imagine how embarrassed he was. The coach didn't give his usual halftime speech, but what he said when it was time to go back out He said, I want the starting team back on the field to begin the second half. The whole team left the locker room except for Roy, who sat in the corner, his face still in his hands. He said, I can't do it, Coach. I can't play. I've ruined the game. And the coach said, get up, Regals. The game is only half over. You belong on the field. Guess what? No matter where you are in life, your game is only half over. Regardless of the past, you still have the rest of the game to play. God is with us as we forgive and forget and get about the business of being in the game of life. In forgetting the past, we have to also forget the good. Now, you've probably sung along with Bruce Springsteen's Glory Days about the guy who can't quit thinking about all the fun he had back in high school. And the song says, time slips away and leaves you with nothing but boring stories of glory days. You may know people like that. They may be in their 40s, 50s, or 60s and still wear their high school football jerseys. Many people zero in on a good period in their life and spend the rest of their days reliving it. Maybe it was high school, or college, or back when their children were young, or some other special time. And it's a temptation to live in the past. I have to deal with that myself, especially if the past was good. But how should we handle the past? Let us handle the past like a farmer. We harvest it, take the good, find the fruit, and then we clear the field and turn the refuse under for compost, leaving everything behind that doesn't serve us today. Alan, if you could mute everybody, that would be great. When we face the challenge of living in the present, we can no longer allow ourselves the luxury of saying, one of these days, I'll do something. One of these days, I'll do something about my health. One of these days, I'll do something about my relationship with my sister. One of these days, I'll do something about my judgment thoughts or about my addiction. Tucked away in our subconscious is an idyllic vision. We see ourselves on a long trip spanning the continent. This is how we see life. And out the window, we drink in all the passing scenery. We see the cars and the highways. Then we see the cattle grazing on the hillside. We see the smoke from the power plant and the rows of corn or wheat, the flatlands and the valleys, the mountains and the rolling hillsides, which are turning gold and orange right now. We see the big cities and the small towns, but upmost in our minds is our final destination. We have this thought in our head that one day we'll pull into the station that will make our life be special. And bands will be playing and flags will be waving and all of our wonderful dreams will come true. And all the pieces of our lives will fit together like a completed jigsaw puzzle. How restlessly we pace the aisles, waiting and waiting for that perfect final station. And we think to ourselves, when I get to that station, everything will be perfect. When I get to 18, that will be it. When I get through college, that will be it. When I get my new house, that will be it. When I get my kids through college, that will be it. When I pay off my mortgage, that will be it. When I get the promotion, when I get to retirement, that will be it. Then I will live happily ever after and everything will be perfect. But sooner or later, we realize there is no perfect station, no one place to arrive at once and for all. The true joy of our life is the trip. It's not the dream. And the dream will constantly outpace us. So I want to encourage you to climb more mountains, to eat more ice cream, to swim in the lake or put your feet in the river and watch more sunsets, to take more risk at whatever level your life is at today. If you need to do something for your life, do it. Don't wait. Don't put it off. Today is the day for you to seize your ability to extend and be aware of your life and the spirit of life that is moving in and through you. It isn't the burdens of today that drive humans mad. It is the regrets over yesterday and the fear of tomorrow. Regret and fear are twin thieves who rob us of the prime of our lives. So I came up with some guiding actions that can help us claim this day as the prime of our lives. So I'm going to share my screen. And as you listen to these 12 possibilities, I encourage you to pick one or two. You don't have to pick them all, but one or two that you are willing to dive deeply into, making that a priority in your life so you can live in your prime. So let's make this work. All right, is everybody with me?
Yes.
Yay! I love it when technology helps me out. All right, number one, seek health. This is important for some of you. When we seek to be aware of and tuned in to our bodies, then we can listen to our body's ever-present ability to tell us what it needs and what's going on inside. It's very difficult to listen to our bodies and to make health a priority if we're not in the present moment. Remember, Spirit is speaking to us, through us in this present moment. And if we are in the past with our health or in the future with our worries and concerns about our health, we can't hear Spirit's guidance to help us take care of our body and find our source of health from within. Number two, let go. We can claim this moment as the prime when we let go of our buttons and triggers. Yep, they're yours, not anybody else's. That cause us frustration, anger, and fear. And accepting this present moment just as it is brings us peace and contentment. Number three, live authentically. When we are open and playful and respectful and willing to take a risk, we reveal our true thoughts and feelings. And when we do that, we're in this present moment. Take risk. So, I've mentioned that. We have to risk the disapproval of others in order to be true to ourselves. This means respecting others' right to disapprove of us and overcoming our natural desire to strike back if they criticize or abandon us. That's a biggie. Practice non-attachment. Living in our prime means letting go of our attachment to money, possessions, and people so that these outside pressures do not block us from being true to God's guiding voice inside of us. Embrace our feelings. We give our feelings so much power in our lives. And in order to take back that power and not be run by our feelings, we should never suppress them or let them drive our choices by blaming others. It's okay to pursue our wants. When we claim today as our prime, we can pursue our wants with passion, using the choices available to us in this present moment, neither seeking to relive the past or to pine for a future that may not come. What do you want today? And give forgiveness. The prime of our lives is a sanctuary of non-judgment, accepting and forgiving the flaws and mistakes that we've made and that others have made. It's time to give up disapproving and condemning. Set boundaries. When we live from a place of clear boundaries, then we are in this moment. And clear boundaries help us to respect the rights of others to be who they are and to know who we are, and able to listen to that quiet voice of God within us. Surrender. As we seek to align with God, we open to Spirit's movement in our lives. Our will becomes subservient to the greater, higher will of God. One of my favorite prayers is, God, I don't know, but I know you know. And I trust that knowing. That's all about surrender. And be vulnerable. When we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we allow love to flow in and out of us freely. And when we feel that love and we're immersed in that love, then we are in this prime, we're in this moment. And finally, think abundance. When we view our world as a world of plenty, knowing and believing that there is no lack in God, all our needs and those of others are met without worry and strife. So I hope that list gave you some things to think about. And hopefully you will pick just one or two of those to work on this week. So let's take some time to go within for reflection and meditation and think about today, this moment being your prime. Let's get in touch with Spirit within and just relax into this moment. Become comfortable in your seat. This will just take a few minutes and listen to the sound of my voice. Breathing in and breathing out. Release the past. Drink in Spirit in this moment. This is our opportunity to pause and be refreshed in the presence of infinite love and in the light of illuminating wisdom. We affirm God is and I am. Affirm with me, I pause and breathe and enter a sanctuary of peace. I pause and breathe and enter a sanctuary of peace. As you breathe out, relax more and more. And with every exhale, release everything that you no longer need. With each in-breath, open your heart and mind and trust. This is the moment to lay down your cares and concerns and just let the breath of spirit within you carry them away. Breathe peace. Breathe peace. Breathe peace. Let's affirm faith. By faith, I perceive the true and real within every circumstance. By faith, I perceive the true and real within every circumstance. Sweet Spirit, let me see through the eyes of faith. Let me see the truth of divine power. And let me feel your presence at the core of my being. By faith, we trust that we cannot see, but we know that something is working in spirit. As circumstances unfold, let us remain steadfast and faithful, and know that good and only good
Thank you.
comes to us. Breathe faith. Breathe faith. If your mind wanders, come back to your breath. Breathe peace. Breathe faith. And let us affirm life. Centered in life, I flourish in every way. Holy God, I acknowledge your divine life as the eternal flame that moves within me. No matter what is going on, no matter the story, you are the life within me, and I choose to live. I will not sit on the sidelines. I will not delay. Today, I breathe life. Breathe life. Breathe life. Let's affirm abundance. I am one with divine abundance. We know the good of God cannot be withheld. We know that God's goodness is pouring into our lives in a steady stream. And with every breath, we draw that plenty into our lives. Plenty of possibility, plenty of resources, plenty of love. Breathe plenty. Breathe plenty. Breathe plenty. Our prayer time together unleashes our spiritual potential. Claim in this moment that you are awakening to your divine identity. We have unleashed peace, faith, life, and abundance. And as we are renewed and empowered, we contribute to the raising of consciousness on our planet. We are blessed, and we are a blessing. You are blessed, and you are a blessing. Repeat that to yourself. I am blessed, and I am a blessing. And as you begin to return your attention to this time and space, thankful for the time that we have spent together and a reminder to seize the day, seize this day. I invite you to join with me to forget what lies behind and not strain to what lies ahead, but rather to take our prize in claiming today as the prime of our lives. Relish the moment, seize the day. This is the day that the Lord hath made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Carpe diem. And so it is. As Fred is coming back to the podium, I want to let you know that I will teach one more Unity class before the end of the year. It's conversation skills. It will begin on November the 1st, 7 p.m. via Zoom. And if you would like to have a list of those 12 guiding activities that we ran through in the PowerPoint, just email me at revrobinvolker@gmail.com. REV.Robin.Volker@gmail.com. As always, it's a pleasure to be a part of your service. I love you and I bless you. Back to you, Fred.
Now you know why she is prime. Mani, take her announcement about the classes more seriously than ever. I took a class from her, and we got so well acquainted that we both feel like we can joke at each other. Well, I feel like it anyway. I took a risk. We were deep into parables, and some were sort of fiction and some were actually nonfiction, blah, blah. And I said, hold it. How do we know all that? She says, Fred, that's a good assignment. You find out and tell us next week. So you can see she knows how to teach.
Thank you, Fred.
Plug, plug. Thank you for your message. We move now into the offering part of our service. We know that as we give, so do we receive. So do we receive. Join me now in our offertory blessing together. Joyously, I give this gift, knowing the divine presence blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God. The light of love surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.